Hello and welcome to Greg's Gruns. Today I'm going to be talking about this rifle. Put this rifle together specifically to shoot a night match. I did a little baby video about the Starlight scope. This is a PVS-2 Starlight scope. Mounted to my XM16 kind of snake eater build with a AEM5 suppressor on there. I put this gun together specifically because I wanted to see if I could use the Starlight scope now, right, in 2025. I know a lot of people have been eliminated, I guess, with Starlight scopes in Vietnam and other conflicts, but I wanted to see how it stacked up to modern night vision, and if you could use it viably at night nowadays and actually be kind of competitive with it. I'll show you guys some footage of shooting through it. Spoiler alert, it's actually pretty good. So these scopes still work. They work pretty well. I'll get into the details of what it was like to do a run and gun and shoot a match with this setup, which, by the way, is 16.8 pounds. So I realize I don't talk a whole lot about night vision on this channel. That's because it's really difficult to film at night. I don't actually have a Psionics camera, which, you know, it is night vision, but it's also a camera. I'm working on maybe getting a filming solution for my PVS-14, but as of right now, it's pretty difficult to film at night. The specific match I shot, and actually R-Road, that's the website, thegunrun.us, night ops match. It's always at VOD, which is Virtuo Defense Tactical. It's a great range out in Old Fort, North Carolina. I pretty much always RO it, so I'm out there a lot under night vision. I think it's safe to say I actually have quite a bit of experience, not only running around and shooting guns under nods, but also watching other people shoot, seeing a huge variety of different setups. On Friday night, it's night vision, and you have to do the whole course basically under nods. It's very hilly terrain, a lot of kind of like bushwhacking through the woods with your setup. So your stuff has to be Loctited, let's put it that way. If you're curious about like seeing a whole run and gun event, I haven't gotten to that level yet, but you should go check out the Appalachian Syndicate YouTube channel. That's Thomas Wu. He's my buddy, I guess, and he puts together some really interesting videos of him shooting all the gun run events and other run and guns as well. He's a very good competitor and also puts out some cool videos. So if you're curious about run and gun videos, even at night, he did a video on the night match that I just shot. You should go check his channel out. This is essentially a Gen 3 white phosphor tube. I can roll in some pictures of it. It's got pretty good specs. I run one tube. It's better than no tubes, right? Essentially how I ran this rifle, as you guys can see, the scope is really offset. So it's got this big saddle on there, and it's really quite offset to the left. So much so, actually, that I can just close my right eye and see fine through the scope. Still have my right eye tube on, still have some situational awareness, but actually aim and look through the scope without having to adjust anything other than just closing my eye. So that actually worked pretty well. I came in 15 out of 30. So that's actually not as well as I normally do. I usually do pretty a little bit better, but this thing is a beast, and the course of fire and the running section it's about 3 miles, and it was very hilly. So running around with this beast slowed me down quite a bit. So I can go over this setup. Like I said before, this is an AEM5 suppressor, an Allen Engineering can, Mark 12 can basically. I did put a Midwest Industries front sight post rail on here. There are ways to mount stuff to the barrel under an old style handguard like this, but I didn't do any of that. I happen to have this piece of rail section, and I put a Mod Light, the Mod Light IR illuminator head on there, a pressure switch that's just taped on. That worked out great. The thing about the Starlight scope is essentially the technology is the same as modern night vision. It's really just an intensifier. It's actually like 3 intensifiers stacked up, and it's got lenses and a power source. The battery is actually not available anymore. It's a 6-volt obsolete battery. So I got a battery off Etsy for this thing. Seems to be working pretty well. This is a daylight filter. I took that off for the match, but theoretically I guess you can zero it during the day with this. I'm not sure if I would trust that. That's what that's for. Essentially the rifle setup is just an M16, and that's how they were mounted, like an aluminum mount. It's got a wing nut on it, which is pretty wild. And like I said, it hangs over the side quite a bit. Other than being extremely awkward and unwieldy, it's kind of a theme with a lot of my guns. I love big, awkward, unwieldy rifles. Besides being unwieldy, the thing ran great, especially with an illuminator. So that's something that they didn't really have access to, was a modern, obviously a modern illuminator. And it goes from making this like usable sometimes to usable almost all the time. Of course, that's not passive anymore. People have night vision now. Back in Vietnam, pretty much you could guarantee nobody other than you had night vision.
Like that.
And this is with the illuminator. Oh, it's a lot brighter. It's a lot brighter. You don't even really need it. That's illuminator. Oh, sorry, I'm doing narration.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
It's okay. I'll edit you out. Oops. It's kind of a game changer with the Starlight. I'll roll in some footage of the illuminator versus not. It gets a little bit blown out in the video. It's hard to tell, but if the moon is out, if the stars are out, you've got a high lume nighttime situation, you don't need it. But if it's cloudy, rainy, shitty weather, or a new moon, you will definitely want the illuminator. Hell, I mean, even those situations with modern night vision, this is a nice tube. It's got nice specs, and man, I've been running around. If you're in the woods, it's especially dark. If you're in the woods and it's cloudy or raining, man, it's like being inside a coffin 6 feet under the ground at midnight. It's just completely freaking pitch black, even with night vision. So you're going to want some kind of illuminator. Like I said, it's not passive, but it is what it is. I can go in depth about how this thing works, but I'm not an expert on it. Essentially, the way you zero it are these little knobs here. It's just a mechanical zero, so it just moves this mount up and down, left and right. It's a very coarse zero. I think it's like, one click ends up being like 6 inches at 50 yards. It's a very coarse 0. As for how far away you can use this thing, it's got a BDC in it. And the BDC goes out to 800 meters. And this is much like an AK sight, having 1,000 meters on it, or, a C96 broom handle Mauser having 1,000. You're not going to see 800 meters with this thing. In fact, I would say around 150 yards becomes really grainy, really difficult to resolve your targets. That happens with all night vision. Like I said, it's the same technology, just a little bit dimmer, greener, and bigger. It's really kind of a close-in situation. It's not thermal, you can't see heat or anything like that. Honestly, I'm impressed. Running around the woods with this thing was awful. As you might imagine, it's humongous. Troops didn't like going on patrol with it, but would I take it at night? Hell yes, I would. I would take it at night, even today, probably, with this setup. It's not bad. If I didn't have this, I would absolutely have this over nothing. And if you're in an emplaced position, like the troops in Vietnam, like you're in a fort or something like that, it really shines. Or you have a sniper hide, or something at night where you can't be detected. This is awesome, right? You just put it on a bag and boom, like you are set. You don't have to go anywhere. Nobody knows you're there other than probably muzzle flash, especially back in the day. I can't speak to modern combat tactics at night because I'm not a soldier, but I imagine, like I said, this is pretty dang good. It's just huge. It's just really big and heavy. It's 6 pounds. I think this is 6 pounds by itself. The mount is, God, they didn't even try to make the mount lightweight. It's this huge aluminum saddle thing, and it probably weighs half a pound by itself. All in all, big, heavy, but shoot, I did better than I thought I would at the match. And everybody who looked through it was very impressed. They're like, damn, this thing still works. It emits a characteristic whine that's some people call like the tinnitus simulator. It's like a very high-pitched whine. But that's just a byproduct of the technology. So yeah, that's kind of the summary of my shooting experience with this thing. Gosh, I would even say it's viable now. If you have one, they're like $500. They're not that expensive, and you can put them on an M14 too if you got an M14. I'm not sure about modern mounting options, but hell, for $500, it's pretty dang good. So that's all I have to say about that. Video is brought to you by Greg's Grips. This is definitely an American-made 1911 with actually American-made Carlo Walnut Double Diamond Grips, made by yours truly. Available at gregsgrips.com. Also, Hudson H9, or Daniel Defense H9 grips are available too, if you have one of those and you want to beautify your Daniel Defense H9. I make walnut grips or any other kind of wood. Just send me a DM and I'll get you hooked up. So guys, I think there's going to be some more night vision content in the future. Like I said, I do shoot a lot of night vision matches specifically. And if you guys are interested in that, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about my getup, my rig here, please ask me either on Instagram or in the comments, and I'll respond. I'm kind of going to take the channel into a new direction here in a minute. I'm gearing up for sort of a more standardized format. It'll still be entertaining. I'm still going to do the goofy, the goofy outfits and the Metal Gear Solid content. Of course, this is a Metal Gear Solid clone. rifle. A lot of people ask me about the build on this gun. It's essentially a Mark 12 barrel stuck onto an M16A1 parts kit with an H&R lower on it with some modifications. So that's pretty much what that is. If you guys like this kind of stuff, I doubt anybody else has shot a night match with a Starlight scope in a while. At least not on YouTube. Maybe somebody did it and they didn't put it on YouTube, but this is the kind of unique content that I want to offer to you guys who are subscribed, because I mean, I've got some interesting stuff. I've got some interesting guns. I actually get out there and shoot the stuff that I have. Sometimes it matches. I know you guys love the battle rifle content. I'm going to be shooting a 2-gun match with an FAL and Mark 23. That's going to be heavy division. So stay tuned for that. That's in next weekend. I will film that and let you know how I did, if I did terribly or if I did okay. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and of course, it's Greg's Gruns on Instagram, and of course, check out my website if you guys want custom grips for your handguns. I've got a lot of really cool stuff planned for future videos. As the weather's getting nicer, I'm going to be out more and more at my buddy's range and also shooting matches. So make sure you're subscribed and tell your friends about it, and check out Appalachian Syndicate for his content. Let me know if you like the match videos. They do so in terms of views. So let me know if you guys like the match videos. I'm gonna post videos about competition no matter what, because that's what I love to do. Stay tuned. There is a lot of really cool stuff in the pipeline here for the channel. So catch you later. It's lit.
Yeah. Ugh. I had a fit.
Hello there. As you all know, the Patriots have raised the prices on everything to stimulate the war economy. This means that the cost of production has really gone up. If you feel like supporting the channel, please like and subscribe, tell your friends, share the video, and if you want to be really good, click the link below for the Patreon.